All right, guys, let's take a look at some problems we're going to kind of level up again today. So here's one first problem I want you to write down. Let me try to keep this neat here. On the top part here, I want you to put 5, 8 over 5 to the 10th. And when you look at this, I still want you to think of, write this down, think battle. There's always a battle going on. I'm gonna have little cloud boxes to have you think with my notes today. Think of a battle. There's a battle going on. Okay. And then when you think of this battle, if you were to write this all out, I mean, you could write it out like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I know I wrote big numbers. I should have wrote smaller ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is an expanded form, but you can tell what's going to happen here. This battle, these knock out each other. These knock out each other. 3, these knock it out. Boom. Knock each other out. Knock each other out. Knock each other out. What's left? There's 2 on the bottom. So if I wrote this down, I would have 5, 2 on the bottom. But you can't leave it like that. The rule is, I'm going to write this on the side. When nothing is left on top, you must hold fraction together. This is how I'm going to write it. With a 1 on top. So there has to be a 1 on top. It has to keep this fraction together. You can't have anything, you can't have it empty up here. That doesn't work that way. If it was 5, 2 on the top, then that would have just been your answer. But since it's on the bottom, you have to have a 1 here to keep it all together. And that's your final answer. Okay? When nothing is left on top, hopefully that makes sense, you must hold fraction together with a 1 over the 5 squared. Not too tough, but it's definitely a rule you have to remember because it's going to happen. It's going to happen quite a bit. All right, now, let me show you one here. Similar to this, let's level up a little bit too here. 5 to the 4th times 6 to the 5th times 7 to the 3rd. All over 5 to the 6th times 6 to the 3rd times 7 to the 5th. Again, it's top versus bottom. Top versus bottom on the battle here. So when you do this, though, remember, only the same bases can battle. So that's a reminder from yesterday. Only the same bases are allowed to battle. Okay? So the same bases are allowed to battle. Now, from there, I want you to look at the 5s here. Now, who's going to win the battle for the 5s? If you look at the battle with the 5s, the 2 on the bottom is going to win, right? So that 5 2s on the bottom. Then what about the 6s? The top is going to win, right? By 2. Do you see that? And you see how I left it on the top? Because the 3 here and the 5. And then what about the 7s? The 7 on the bottom is going to win by 2. Okay? So remember that I really would like you to understand the battle that's happening here. And this is your final answer. Okay? Don't worry about the way it looks. It's fine. It's good to go. All right? So now the next one. If I do this one here, this is a total new concept. All right? We're going to do 3 to the 5th, and I'm going to put parentheses, and I'm going to put a 3 here. Sorry about that. So looking at this problem, we're going to have a parenthesis here, which again, whenever you see parentheses in math, you should start to think of multiplication. That's kind of what the parentheses, a lot of the times, it's what's meaning, the multiplication. But this is 3 to the 5th, and then parentheses, this is quantity, basically, what you're going to say, to the 3rd power. 3 to the 5th, quantity to the 3rd power. And it's interesting the way this looks. There is a way to write it out. And it really just means this is 3. You could write this parenthesis out 3 times. You could do it this way. This is one way to solve it. Okay, I'm going to show you both ways. You could write the parenthesis out 3 times. That's basically what it means. All right. Let me write this out. You could write it out. It's almost like we're cloning the parenthesis 3 times. And then if you were to do this math, you have the same bases. You're multiplying. This parenthesis multiply. Same bases. You're going to add your exponents. So your answer would be 3 to the 15th. Okay. But you don't have to do that. There is a shortcut. And we're going to talk about the shortcut. All right. And that shortcut is when there is an exponent inside and on the outside. I know I changed up the numbers, but it's okay. When there's exponents like this, you're allowed to simply multiply the exponent. Okay? You're allowed to do that. So this 3 to the 5th times, or to the 3rd power, is going to be just multiplication. And you're going to get the same answer, right? 3. So that's the shortcut. You're allowed to do that. Okay? We'll write just multiply exponents. All right. Now, let's level this concept up a little bit more by looking at it this way. What if I said 5 to the 3rd times 6 to the 2nd times 7 to the 4th? All in parentheses, quantity 3. All right. I don't want to write this out 3 times. It's kind of lengthy. I want to use my shortcut. So the shortcut would be multiply here, multiply here. You can multiply all of those exponents. All right. So when I do that, I'm going to get 5 to the 9th. Do you see that? 3 times 3 times 6 to the 2 times 3 is 6 times 7 to the 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. That's a challenging problem, but I know you guys can handle that. There's a couple other ones I want to show you that are a little more challenging as well. When you do your quiz trade after this, or you're going to do a rally coach and then a quiz trade, we have some of those cards I labeled spicy, and I want you to do the best you can on the spicy ones, okay? Here's another one. 5 to the 4th times 5 to the 3rd, parenthesis, and I'm going to put it all over 5 to the, we'll say, 4th. Now, if you remember your order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or if you remember those at all, you would deal with your parenthesis first. P for the please would be your parenthesis first. So you have to deal with this top part first. What do you do when you're multiplying the same bases? You are allowed to now add exponents, right? So this becomes 5 to the 7th. All over, what's this going to be, 5 to the 4th? And then you're going to battle that. This battles, and you get 5 to the 3rd power. All right? Take your time on some of these problems today. Ask questions. Ask me. Ask Mr. Mundo. Please clarify what's going on, because tomorrow will be the ultimate level up where we get into negative exponents in detail. Today is really just still understanding the rules of what's going on. Okay? The backside is your homework. If you could put this away or you want to keep it out, the backside will be your homework. But now we're going to do the rally coach. Do the best you can. Work with your partner and ask questions.